Gentlemen, welcome to the only place playing it harder, faster, and louder than anybody else on live365.com. I'm your host, JC, and the place to be. And today, you may all introduce yourselves. I am joined by
Curtis.
Oh.
Sorry, man.
all at one time. Let's just go right down the line.
Hi, everybody. I'm Mark from Eisige Venen.
Chris from Eisige Venen on bass.
Curtis from Eisige Venen doing vocals.
Gotcha. So it is Eisige Venen. I don't know. I'm not an English major, so I always mispronounce names sometimes. How is the spelling of this name, and what does it mean?
So it is it's just a direct German translation of icy veins.
Ah, gotcha. Was there any like inspiration to just be icy veins, or were you guys like, what's the Germanic saying for icy veins? That sounds cool. Let's go with that.
I don't know if like that would be something really brought up in German, but it is a World of Warcraft spell. So there's that. I used to play a lot of it a few years ago.
Nice.
And he was stationed in Germany as well.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
very nice. I'm sorry. For what branch?
I was in the Army.
Nice. That's awesome. So is my father. So much respect to you, sir. Thank you for your service.
Thank you.
So Eisige Venen, correct? Saying that correctly?
Yep, you got it.
Yes.
Awesome. How long have you guys been like an outfit, and what tracks do you guys have out?
I'll let Chris take it. He took the he did the bio, so he's the expert now.
Well, Mark actually started this project about 3 years ago in the wake of COVID, when everyone was stuck to their own devices. So he took the opportunity to capitalize on the one-man metal thing. And Mark and Curtis were in, you got to help me with the name. Was it Balsamon?
Yeah.
You got it. Yep.
All right. Back in the late 90s. So come 2023, Curtis jumped on board, and I met Mark through another YouTube channel that I had called Heavy Metal 101 Reviews that I do with a buddy of mine, Dustin. And we actually reviewed one of the Eisige Venen songs. So Curtis jumped in 2023. Well, I think around March. Is that right?
Sure. That sounds
Sure.
fun.
And my band over here in Korea is about to tank. So I was looking for something, the next thing to do. So I saw, oh shit, it's not a one-man metal project anymore. He's got a singer. So let's see if he needs a bass player. So I hit up Mark, and he said, yeah, sure, let's do it.
And I heard you correctly. You said over here in Korea?
Correct.
So you're in South Korea, I assume, right now.
Correct.
Are you living there, or are you stationed there yourself?
I'm stationed here myself.
Oh, thank you for your service as well, sir. I can honestly say this is the first time anybody's, come into the show from Korea. So we're extending our reach on Metal for the Masses. I love it. But that's cool. So like, not to say you phone it in, but you kind of just phone it in then. Your bass tracks for the band. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love how technology is kind of broadened the horizons, where like you could literally be halfway across the globe and still be a band. Has that obviously, like, that's been a blessing, but has it hindered you guys at all, do you think?
I would say from my perspective, it has, because you can't be in a room together at the same time.
Right.
So I'm kind of codependent on whatever they provide me to lay down the bass tracks. And there's always that concern of, am I going to trample all over something else that they have in this empty spot that I'm trying to fill?
Yeah.
But, Mark and his wizardry with software, he can kind of shift stuff around. And so we do have the capabilities to kind of rectify it on the spot without having to redo a bunch of stuff.
Gotcha. Now, as far as like, the bajillion subgenres of metal that there are these days, where do you guys kind of fall on the spectrum? I mean, obviously by name alone, I can see how your name is presented on Mr. Mark's shirt. So obviously you guys might fall into the black metal category if I can, if my deciphering skills are that good. But where on the spectrum do you guys fall?
I think, we've heard so many things. We've had some comparisons to some of the earlier Rotting Christ stuff. I've heard, oddly enough, people, like Ensiferum or however you say their name. And to me, those bands, I mean, those are two completely different bands. Rotting Christ, they're black metal, but they have a very unique sound. And where Ensiferum's more folk metal and doesn't really, it's a subgenre of black metal. So, and we've even today we got compared to a heavy Genesis of all things. So
I could dig that.
It's, I hate to bottleneck us into just a black metal genre where perhaps some of the songs that we haven't released yet wouldn't quite fit that genre. They're not exactly black metal. So I've been,
Well, then, like, I would say you don't have to bottleneck yourself in there. I mean, like, you can describe your sound. I mean, like, this is your time in the sun here to kind of get your stuff out there. I mean, like, where, even if it's 30 minutes long, you having to describe your sound. I mean, like,
well, my interpretation of it, just judging off of my biggest influences in my life musically and stuff like that, I kind of liken it to like a blackened, like Smashing Pumpkins. The sorrow is there, the melancholy, and the infinite sadness, if you want to go there with it.
Gotcha.
But it's it's just it got that feel to it, and I want the music to be extremely emotional and not just some raw random crust punk black metal song. I want the emotion to be able to convey, even if you're not into black metal, to be able to hear it, to be able to feel what the guitars are doing, what the vocals are doing, and stuff like that.
Gotcha. Despite all your rage, are you still a rat in a cage?
Yeah, I am. I'm a working American.
Totally relate.
Swamp rat at that.
Swamp. You know what? There you go. You should come up with a don't cover it, but I guess sample it and call the song Swamp Rat.
Yeah.
Mr. Curtis, you sir have been kind of in the background here since the interview began, so I'm going to pick on you for a second here. State again what you do in the band.
Vocals.
Vocals.
I tend to stay in the background because, I mean, why not? I'm not, I don't want to step on anybody's toes while I have 50 people talking at the same time.
I don't know. It looks like you can defend yourself pretty well. I mean, like, this'll eventually reach YouTube where people can see the video. But for people who will be listening into this man has a giant fucking sword hanging on his wall.
That's the, there's, that's the warhorse sword.
Oh, nice. I like it. So how do you kind of, I guess, how did you fall into this band, and how do you, I mean, obviously you're the vocalist. Something that's always like amazed me, like I just went to, a black metal show last night, and what always kind of, I guess, mystifies me about black metal is how you guys kind of, like, how do you warm up? How do you like get your voice to do these things that I would say, like, you harder vocalists kind of do?
Well, for the first question that you asked, how I got into like this project in particular, me and Mark have been best friends since I think I was 17, maybe, and doing music together forever. I lived with him for off and on here and there. We were basically homeless in Conway, Arkansas, doing nothing but going to shows. We were like, you know, in the scene, but you know, it was being where we are. It's very difficult to get like-minded musicians. At the time, man, if we wanted to play some stoner doom, we'd have been, you know, we'd had nothing but shows and a plethora of people to, because that's all it is here mostly.
Yeah.
And as far as vocals, it's funny that you asked that because we basically were dormant for almost 20 years maybe, and we got back together with our old band, me, Mark, and Mr. Rob Anderson and Baal Zaman, and we re-recorded all of our own songs and all of our old songs and wrote a bunch of new songs and made an album and all that. And I found that it was quite difficult to get that range back. And I was talking to Ben from Goat Whore, and he was like, man, it's just like a muscle. It's just like working out. You got to do it every day. You got to warm up. You got to warm up. You got to do it, warm up. And so that's what I do. I mean, I wander around humming shit, drink a ton of water, and I have a whole warm up thing I got to do. And, you know, because being in your 40s, you know, things just fall apart.
Oh yeah. I'm 29 and I'm already falling apart. So I mean, like you're not wrong.
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine. So okay, I get that. And it's really funny that you say, like, you know, if you were like a stoner doom band, you know, you guys probably wouldn't have had a harder time. I do kind of agree with that in a sense. I feel like there's been almost a rise in stoner doom, sludge kind of metal. In the past couple years, it is starting to become a little bit more popular. Rightly so. It's an amazing genre of music.
Yeah.
You know, Church of Misery, one of my favorite bands in that genre. But no, I mean, I totally get it. If you guys were like, you know, like you said, going along with what's popular, I'm sure you guys would have had, you know, an easier time of it. But you seem to understand, and I have a great appreciation for it. You know, it's not about what's popular. You know, it's about, you know, I say it all the time. Music is an art. And if you're just copy pasting from somebody else, you're not an artist. You know, you're essentially just people together who can do music. You're not artists. You guys aren't following the mainstream. You guys are out there to make your own sound. And that's something that I can greatly appreciate. And I think you guys, you know, as much as I love stoner doom, I'm glad you guys didn't go the route of stoner doom.
Oh, well, I mean, it's just flooded, and it has been since the early to mid 90s here. That is it. But I mean, we would go to shows and we would go see, I don't know, say like Cannibal Corpse, and there would be, you know, like just a slow drudging doom band open up for them, and then here would come Mayhem played, and then we had the same band that open. You know, it's the same. It's you know, that's all there is here.
Count your blessings.
When you say like, what do you sound like? What's your, you know, are you black metal, death metal, and this and that? It is what it is. I don't know.
Yeah.
Just check it out and, you know, call it whatever you want. I don't care.
I don't mean to be, you know, I don't mean to insult or be derogatory when I ask, like, you know, what is your sound? You know, it's kind of like how I can get more of an idea of what I'm going into and kind of try to find out. It's like, do these guys like, what do these guys sound like? Who can I kind of base their sound off of? And, you know, what good? Because the unfortunate thing and kind of the best thing about metal is I think we have more subgenres than any other style of
Oh.
music out there.
Unbelievable. Yeah.
So
No
it's
contest.
like I always kind of want to ask, like, what your sound is, so that when I go eventually, like, on my social media, and I'm just like, hey, go check these guys out if you're a fan of X. They'll kind of know what it is you guys, they have kind of like a stepping stone to it. Like, if I'm just like, go check these guys out, they're a country folk metal band, and you guys are actually like a thrash metal band, it's
Yeah. No, I didn't just mean just you. I'm talking a broad
right.
general, like anybody that asks, because that's one of the first questions, But like, that previous project we did, the Baalzamon thing, and I would show people that, and they were like, oh yeah, and that was that was borderline death metal, black metal. It was a lot of growling and a lot of screaming, and heavy guitars, high-end guitars, fast guitar, slow guitar is all over the place too. And oh yeah, I like White Zombie. Yeah, you sound just like White Zombie.
Thanks. That's what we were trying to do.
Okay, that's weird. All right, I heard that like 3 different times, but I don't know. It's just, you never know what people are going to compare it to.
Right. Honestly, like, the best compliment you guys can get is be like, you guys sound like something I've never heard before. I feel like
Absolutely.
I feel like it's such a kick to the balls to walk up to any artist and be like, you guys sound just like this artist,
Yeah.
But you guys are talking about how like there's a lot of stoner doom around your area. I wish that was the case here. I'm from New Jersey. I'm in the southern area of New Jersey. A lot of people try to say that Central Jersey exists. It doesn't. You're either at the most northern tip of South or the most southern tip of North Jersey. But count your blessings, because I would much rather be in a place where the most common thing was stoner doom than it was some hippie alternative band with a cover of Wonderwall.
Okay.
That's every like, more times than not, if there's like a band playing at a bar, it's like, all right, we're Flower Child and we're gonna play Wonderwall, and everybody's just like, great, just kill me now.
Yeah, down in the South, I know, mid 90s to early 2000s, the South, like Louisiana, Arkansas, Georgia, really made a run for it, and it was the place to be, in my opinion. Like, there was nothing better. It was any given weekend you can, around this area, or Little Rock, you go and see I Hate God. We had Acid Bath, we had Crowbar a lot. You had Weed Eater, we had Wake. They're from here, and they're still playing. Hell, we're seeing I Hate God and Goat Horde next Friday. They just,
nice.
It's pretty consistent.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
One more question, and then I'm gonna move on here. Being that you are excuse me, your specific vocal style, is there like a favorite? I don't really want to call it like a sound effect, but like, I feel like is there like a favorite kind of like bleh or whatever you like to do?
Anything that would have an E sound. Yeah, I don't know. No, I don't use any effects.
Not like an effect. Sorry, like
Yeah.
like a
nuance.
yes, something like kind of like a substitute for a word. You hear in like a lot of like the black metal kind of stuff. They'll either do like a or like,
Oh yeah, no.
Blah,
Yeah,
kind of you don't have any of those?
No, just I do love just a blanket non-word scream at just a real good raw point of the song, just where it just you feel it, you just fucking run through a wall.
Can we get like a little preview of it right now? I don't know if you're up to it right now.
No, not really, but
Okay. Don't kill
Let him-
yourself.
Let him drink a couple more of those beers.
Yeah. Maybe after a couple of beers, maybe.
All right.
Yeah, no, it's important to me that I mean, I'm sure nobody can understand what I'm saying anyway, but it is important to me that that I do say the words that I have wrote and they're enunciated as best as my ability, you know, even though I have a Southern drawl and it's, you know, I've been got onto a couple times for, you know, saying, I don't know, fire instead of fire, you know, or
Right.
something to that effect.
Like
but
water instead of water, you know?
Yeah.
something like that. Yeah.
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 We do the same thing here in South Jersey. We're all a bunch of fucking hicks in the north
Yeah.
somehow. Don't know how. But I get it a lot. A lot of people will especially if they're from like Philadelphia or North Jersey, because the North Jersey always wants to be they're like the people that wish they were New York, but they're not. And they'll always be like, oh, you say water, you're weird. Where are you from? I'm like, I'm literally like 3 hours away from you. Like, we all live in the same state. Shut the fuck up. But Mr. Chris, I'm gonna move on to you now. Bass player. I do play a little bass myself, so I always love chatting it up with the bass players of the bands. What I guess like what inspired you to play bass?
Peter Steele, oddly enough.
Really?
Yeah, I just
Oh, yeah.
remember being in high school and I heard Typo Negative for the first time and saw that looming figure that was Peter Steele, and I was like, I want to do that.
Want to do that?
Right. And then I, found stuff like Les Claypool, which I will never amount to. But then there's always job security. So I found that out later on. Everyone's looking for a bass player because everyone wants to be on the flashy guitar or, be the singer. So
To everybody tuning into this right now, take fucking notes. If you want to always have a job, be a bass player.
Facts.
You might never get laid, but you'll always have a job. But no, I totally get that. I'm kind of upset. I got into Typo Negative like much later in life, and when I say much later in life, I mean like 2 years ago. So 27,
Wow.
27, I got into Typo Negative, and I think I'm definitely not like a, name like a deep cut. I'm probably like the average Typo Negative fan, where it's like, what's your favorite song? Oh, like Love Me to Death is probably like my favorite one, which is probably like one of the most common ones people will say. But no, I definitely dig it. Any other kind of inspirations for bass playing?
Cliff Burton for sure. Dave
Rest in
Ellison.
peace.
Yeah. And then somebody you probably don't know of, but since you're a bass player, you want to check out is a bass player by the name of Bobby Lee Bryant.
Okay.
And he came out of the Michigan metal scene in I want to say the late 90s, early 2000s in a band called Summer Dying. So you want to listen to the intro to Tears of the Fallen, and you can find it on their Bandcamp. But that guy was a wizard on the 6-string bass. And I just found out, I lost track of him, but he passed away in 2017. I think he was 37. So
Wow.
I don't know what the circumstances were, but that guy was a phenomenal talent.
Yeah, I definitely hope it wasn't like substance abuse related. 37, that's young.
He was relatively large.
Gotcha.
So I'm wondering if it wasn't like heart failure or something of that nature.
Probably. But yeah, okay. Do you obviously for your guys' sound, you guys would probably have to be working with something more than like a 4-string bass, correct?
All I have is a 4-string. My 6-string just shipped yesterday. So
Nice. Gotcha. What is I guess like, do you have like a brand of choice? Are you like a Fender guy? Like what kind of bass club?
Well, because I'm in the military, I don't have a whole lot of money. I'm an Ibanez guy. I'd love to have like a Warwick or something like that, but Ibanez I think is really well balanced. It's got a good sound to it, and it's consumer cost friendly.
Gotcha.
Sir, I
So,
play metal, so therefore I am poor.
sir, I play, in his case, sir, I play metal and I work for the government. I have no money. In fact, I am in debt. Oh man. That's awesome. So, Mr. Mark, I'll go to you as well. Kind of the same amount of questions. You're a guitar player. Obviously, you guys don't have the same job security as Chris over here.
Right.
What inspired you to pick up a guitar, and what kind of guitar do you play? And I don't know, do you have any are you like a big solo guy? Or are you more of like a rhythm guy? Like, what's your favorite thing to do?
Okay. Well, the way let's see. It was probably Nirvana, in the early
Okay.
90s. They got me wanting to play guitar, and then I started getting into punk rock a lot. And
You a big Misfits fan?
the Misfits were always a band that I liked, but I wouldn't say I'm a huge fan. My band of choice was Bad
Black
Religion.
Flag.
Black Flag.
Black
Yeah.
Flag.
Black
Okay.
Flag, Bad Religion, No Effects. Those were my probably favorite bands growing up.
Gotcha.
And then so yeah, I always wanted to play guitar. Oddly enough, my mom wouldn't let me own one.
Did she think it was
So,
for the devil or something?
no, she just didn't want to hear it. The practice
Understandable.
stages.
Yeah.
So I'm self-taught, everything I learned I had to pick up, a friend's guitar who owned one or whatever. Then I was probably about 15 or so, and I started learning a lot of Bad Religion songs on guitar, and I started learning Smashing Pumpkin songs on guitar, and just never put it down.
Gotcha.
So it's been almost 30 years.
There you go.
And so right now I'm playing an Ibanez as well. I had it modified a little bit. I got Seymour Duncan Black Winter pickups in it and some new tuners. But it's Ibanez RGRT 620, I think. Neck through, which is very important to me. It is a string through body, which is also very important to me because I don't do a whole lot of showcase solos. Our music, in fact, has no solos in it as of right now.
Gotcha.
So it's like the Dire Straits song, strictly rhythm. I don't want to make it cry or sing.
Gotcha.
Not that I can't. It's just when you write something like that and suddenly, that solo takes the center stage. I've just never gotten one where I wanted it to be. And I thought, yeah, let's put this on the song. Usually there's just something about it I hate. And I just decided, let the songs speak for themselves right now. We can start adding solos and stuff like that for a future album down the road when we progress as a band and as a unit.
Gotcha. So obviously there's a couple complications with you guys playing live at the moment. Do you guys kind of foresee yourselves ever being able to get all together in one place and play shows live? Or is this kind of something that you guys haven't really got to talking about yet?
Go ahead, Mark.
Yeah. It would be nice if we could. But obviously with this, Chris's obligations, that would be the tough one.
Right.
Me and Curtis live about 8 or 9 hours away from each other. And I would say even for me and Curtis, I mean, with our day jobs, what we have to do, you know, family obligations, stuff like that. It would have, I mean, you know, if we were to play a show, it would have to pay us enough to make it worth it.
Right.
And we're just not at that level where anyone's going to pay us that amount.
Yeah.
I got
It'd
it.
be pretty tough. I have I have a pretty good sized family, and we're very obligated, and we got our fingers in just about everything in the community, into the sports and the school and the all kinds of crazy stuff. So our schedule is ridiculously hectic. And so it would be real tough. But I mean, you know, there's nothing better than being on the stage, just, you know, going nuts. I love it. But yeah, it's a tough one.
Gotcha. Yeah, I can totally see that being a big hiccup in any kind of plan going forward. I didn't realize you guys were about 8 or 9 hours away from each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would definitely be a nice ride. But okay. But anywho, so you guys have music out right now, obviously. So we've kind of talked about what you guys do, your backgrounds, you know, what got you guys into the music. Let's actually talk about your music. What do you guys have out right now? What's in the works? Go.
So right now we have 3 singles out. We have the first one, which was Death Springs Eternal. The second one, which was A Frigid Emptiness, and our latest single, Taken by Winter's Grace. Those are all going to be on the new album. So that album will, I'm hesitant to say a date or,
Yeah.
you know, even a time frame.
It's in the works.
It's in the works. It's all been written. The music on it is done and pretty much completed. The vocals are going to be the last thing, and then we're getting it mixed and mastered by somebody else so that it sounds the best.
Gotcha.
So the
Who are-
3 that are out right now are going to sound a little bit different whenever the whole album comes out.
Mhm.
Gotcha. Who have you guys outsourced it to get that sound down for you?
Right now, through a group I'm in on Facebook, Metal Incorporated.
Yes, I'm aware of them. I'm in the group as well.
Yeah. Steve Haggerty
Okay.
or Haggerty.
Yep.
I don't know how to say his last name. But,
I'm aware. Good guy.
yeah. So he offered his services. He said, you know, he was looking to take on a few clients. So we sent him one song. He's been working on it, and the results have been really nice. It really modernizes the sound.
Okay.
As opposed to what's been released. What's been released now sounds a lot more demo quality, and his sounds a lot more studio quality, and that's what we were looking for.
Was it a big drastic change from what you guys originally put out? Did he have to do a lot of cleanup, or was it just kind of like just polished it up a little bit?
He's actually done quite a bit of work. Like I said, we sent him one song so far.
Mhm.
He has actually corrected some. Well, I don't say corrected; they were in time, but he added some extra to the drums. He fixed, you know, there was a couple elements there where the vocals might have been off by, like, you know, a half beat. You know, he's corrected stuff like that. So he's actually done a pretty good amount of editing work, as well as like trying to dial in a tone for the guitars and the bass and stuff like that. You know, I was actually really surprised. He seemed to really put a lot into it, you know, from somebody. You know, you meet people on the internet and you think like, well, yeah, I bet you can mix, you know, but he had showed
Right.
us his band, and so we went from there. And you know, he's good at what he does. He's better than I am, for sure, and worth the time.
Definitely one of the better people to meet on the internet. That's for sure.
Yeah, he's been great.
Awesome. Well, gentlemen, I mean, I think we're pretty good with all the information we have right now on you guys. I mean, honestly, it's been an honor sitting here talking to you guys. You guys seem like a good group of guys. It's very unfortunate that you guys are so far away from each other. But you know what? I think that makes what you guys do, being that it doesn't feel so much like this is your day job. Like, I always feel like there's a difference with bands when it seems to be more of a friendly, a friendly hobby than it does to be like the thing that takes over their entire life, I think that makes what you guys do easier. You guys have your lives that you obviously do day to day. You have your day jobs, and you all find time to come together, write music, put stuff out. But it doesn't seem to be like this like there doesn't seem to be any kind of like animosity like you kind of might find with bands where the music is their day job,
Right.
That frustration is not there. I mean, it might be, but it might be there in smaller doses.
Yeah, stick 5 dickheads in a shed together and with a case of beer, and there's going to be some animosity by the end of the night. Yeah,
right. Absolutely. I've been in my fair share of bands where that's been the case, but yeah. Is there I mean, obviously, do you guys have, I see the shirt that Mark is wearing. Is there do you guys have a merch store? People can go support you guys, buy merch, buy any kind of CDs you might be putting out?
I opened up a store through Big Cartel. So it's just eisigevenen.bigcartel.com.
Okay.
And we got t-shirts, hoodies, beanies, hats, and patches. CDs, obviously the album has to be finished before we'll have that, but they will be available. And we're looking through another small run vinyl company, and we might actually get some vinyls.
Nice.
Press.
I'm definitely getting one no matter what. There's going to be at least 2 or 3 made, no matter what.
Is it going to be like a special print vinyl, or is it just going to be like the basic black vinyl?
We haven't got there yet.
Picture disc, I think.
Oh, yeah, old school. I like it.
Yeah, with the company we found, the picture disc was the same price, so we were like, okay. And we actually have the art. I've purchased art for the whole album already, so we have the artwork for the picture disc, so it'll be really cool looking.
I can totally agree. They're probably one of the coolest things to look at. I have a original Iron Maiden Peace of Mind picture album, and
wow.
I literally I have a whole vinyl collection that I've been collecting over the years, and that's like one of the gems of my collection is just this original Peace of Mind Iron Maiden picture disc. Just looking at the artwork, like how the fuck in this time, like it came out in the 80s, like how the fuck did they put it on here, and how did they get this shit to work? I mean, it just looks like a piece of fucking art. It is beautiful, and the fact that it still plays is even more mind-boggling.
It's really amazing what they can do now with vinyl, with the etched discs and everything. Just amazing.
Yeah, but this is like original from like the 80s.
Yeah,
I'm looking at that. I'm like nowadays I can totally understand how they do that kind of stuff. We have the technology. Going back then, I mean, that shit was just nuts. Everything was more manual instead of automated. So it's just nuts. I actually recently just picked up a harder to find Misfits album. I actually got it all the way from the UK. It was this hard to fucking find, but it was Tales from the Crypt, and that's another one, whole vinyl of like unreleased songs that they had all throughout the years. Amazing. But I could talk about vinyl for fucking ever.
Yeah,
I love it. I'm one of these people.
I love it. Yeah.
But
my wife is cool with it just because of all the all the different colors and all the really cool stuff,
Yeah.
you can find. So yeah, I've got a pretty
It's,
nice little selection too.
there's just something better about having this big fragile disc and having this record playing, like this big machine that you have to play with it instead of just having your phone.
Oh yeah.
It kind of just makes having it like, it's something more tangible that you can hold rather than it's just like your phone. It's been
Yeah.
like, it's one of the cooler things. I love any band that still puts out a vinyl. I think that's really cool. Not just for like the hipster aspect of it, just for the, nostalgia aspect of there's a band that still puts out vinyl.
Yeah.
It's like an automaker that still makes stick shift.
Yeah. It's real nice. It's hard to find, but it is awesome.
It's great.
Yeah.
Well, gentlemen, it's been an honor sitting here talking to you.
Sure.
Obviously, Chris, thank you for your service. Mark, thank you for your service. Curtis, do I have to thank you for your service?
No, I'm not that cool.
Okay. Well, thank you for being here, sir. I can thank you for that.
Appreciate you for letting us for having us on,
Absolutely.
Yeah, thank you.
The whole point of Metal for the Masses is to showcase bands such as yourself that are out there in the, I call it just in the underground scene. I every time I turn on a radio station and I get to hear Metallica for 4 songs, I always kind of rage quit the radio for a long time just because it's a big thing I talk about on my show. There's bands like you guys that are out there and just glossed over. It's a big shame. That's why Metal for the Masses, Metal Incorporated, as Mark said, we're out here to kind of support the scene. We're out here to support bands like you guys and make sure we're not going to tell you we're going to make you famous, but it's like we're going to tell you, it's like, hey, like we're going to try to help you guys out as much as possible, but definitely appreciate you guys being here. And I can't wait to hear the album when it eventually does come out. So again, guys, thank you for being here on Metal for the Masses.
Well, thank
Thank
you for
you.
having us so much.